So Assassin's Creed Shadows is releasing November this year, and in the last couple of days we've had more and more details surrounding the gameplay or new features that the game will have. And especially in one IGN exclusive interview, one Ubisoft employee talked a lot about things that they try to implement into Assassin's Creed Shadows. So in today's video I'm going to summarize most of the features that sound both great and will probably have a place in Assassin's Creed Shadows. But before we do that, remember, this is a Ubisoft game. What they say doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be true, okay? We know that Ubisoft are absolute masters of marketing, you know, they always put out the greatest trailers, always talk as good as possible about their games, which obviously is a good strategy, but Ubisoft really overdoes it in my opinion. So what I will tell you about in this video might sound great, but it isn't 100% safe that we will have those features as we expect to in Assassin's Creed Shadows in the end. But with that being said, let's dive into the features that sound very promising for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, small Easter egg for you, Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually the first Assassin's Creed game where the main protagonists will be real life figures. You know, in every other Assassin's Creed game to this point, obviously we met a lot of historical figures, but the two protagonists that we are going to play will also be people that really existed, unlike in any other Assassin's Creed title. Does it really change the game? No, it's just, well, a small information for you. What is more interesting though is they talked a lot about some technical improvements. For example, a better lighting system, you know. And when you think about it, Assassin's Creed Mirage kind of looks the same like Assassin's Creed Origins, even though there have been 6 years between those two games. I know they talked about a more dynamical lighting system that really highlights the beauty of the game and makes the whole game look more beautiful. And I mean, to be honest, it was pretty much time for such an upgrade, because for a game from 2023 like Assassin's Creed Mirage was to look the same as Assassin's Creed Origins, in my opinion, for a big company is unacceptable. So they are trying to improve this. Another great add-on that we will have is that in the game we'll be able to destroy much more things like in the previous Assassin's Creed games. Obviously we have a lot of open world games like Red Dead Redemption, for example, or also Ghost of Tsushima, where we are actually able to destroy a lot around us. And in Assassin's Creed, you know, we can't really do anything in that sort. I mean, there are some certain objects that are actually destroyable in Assassin's Creed, but still it's nothing compared to other open world games. Another thing that they talked about a lot is the way that Japan adapt to the different seasons. Yes, the seasons will actually return. I mean, in Assassin's Creed 3 we've had the seasons already, but they disappeared after that. Now we will have the 4 seasons. We don't know how the game will react to each season, how long each season is going to be. But I believe that there will be changes, obviously in the visual aspect, and also probably when it comes to, let's say you're trying to free an outpost. Maybe in the winter the enemies are more inside because it's too cold outside, and in the summer they're more outside of the buildings. You know, something like that could really have a bigger strategic impact. As I said, I'm more interested on how long each season will be. Will it be 1 hour? Will it be 10 hours? We don't know that, you know. In games like Hogwarts Legacy, for example, it was reliant on the quests. So the more quests you did, the more you progressed in the main story, then the seasons changed. But I like a more real system when it comes to that. So let's say one season is like 4 hours, for example, and then it changes automatically. But as I said, we don't know much, but we know that the seasons will return in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm more interested though on how that will actually look like in the final game. And another very important thing that they will have to master, and what they talked about, is the combat system, because now we will obviously be able to play 2 main characters and both fight in completely different way. You know, Yasuke is this big berserker that destroys enemies and hordes of enemies. Naoe is more of this stealthy, hidden, real assassin-like approach. And they talked about that they really want to emphasize the differences between those two. So let's say Yasuke is more of this big brute, while Naoe has a more elegant fighting style, if you know what I mean. And I'm very, very happy that I hope that in Assassin's Creed Shadows we will actually be able to be real assassins again, you know, playing this stealthy way. I think that if I will have the chance to play in a stealthy way, I'll do it 100% of the time. Because that's one part that really shines when it comes to Assassin's Creed, that stealthy aspect of the game. And another point that I emphasized is the open world of Japan, that I want to really concentrate on creating a beautiful and authentic historical Japan, but I'm not really worried about the open world. You know, when it comes to one aspect that Ubisoft does great, we can't argue that they always come up with great open worlds. And as I said, I'm not really worried when it comes to that point. What they didn't talk much about though are concrete missions and how we're going to be able to approach those. You know, they only talked about the more general stuff and some of the things that I just listed, like the dynamic lightning, the combat system, but they didn't really talk much about the missions. So I think we will have to wait more about those things. But after reading this interview, I have to say that it makes me a bit more hyped for this game. Definitely not hyped enough to pre-order it for $70, and definitely, for fuck's sake, not as hyped to buy it for $130, which is an absolute disgrace. I still can't believe that in 2024 Ubisoft actually charges $130. Doesn't matter which platinum, gold or silver edition, or whether they bring you gold to your house for buying that edition. Doesn't give a fuck. I just don't care. That is an absolute disgrace. But as I said, things like these really make me more hyped, you know, hearing that they focused more on being more Assassin's Creed-like, let's say, with the combat system, or actually making the games more beautiful, let's say. But however, as I said in the beginning, we know this is Ubisoft and we know that they love to talk great about their games, and we'll have to wait to see how it looks in the final picture, because that is what is going to determine whether this game is actually worth it or not. So while all of the things that I listed in this video sound absolutely great, see it with a grain of salt and don't believe everything. Alright guys, what are your opinions on the things that I talked about in this interview, what I just summarized for you? Tell me your opinions down in the comments, and if you are actually thinking about pre-ordering Assassin's Creed Shadows. As I said, please do not. At least wait for the gameplay of the game. But the best way is obviously to wait for it probably to be on sale, or to at least for it to be released, so that you see other YouTubers or creators that are not being paid by Ubisoft to say good things, but they're actually playing those games and reviewing them in an honest manner. Alright guys, that was it from me in today's video. I wish you all an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.